So, just our topic is identifying halogen atoms in the organic substances. And for this, you need to recall the test for the halide ions. These are reactions or precipitation reaction. What do? You need to have silver nitrate solutions. Get here 3 test tubes and take these 3 halide ions in 3 different test tubes. They should be aqueous because the test are precipitation test. Now what you're going to do, you are adding silver nitrate to all the solutions, and there will be reaction, and reaction means this silver ion combines with chloride ion to form here silver chloride, and here you get silver bromide, and lastly you will get silver iodide. All these substances form are insoluble, so there will be solid precipitation, we say, and they have different colors, so you can identify them easily. The first one is white precipitate, and second one is pale yellow, and the last one is totally yellow precipitate. So with the color you can identify which substance contains which solid, and accordingly you can identify the halide presence. Here 2 more things with this test. One is pre, another one is post. Pre means you should ensure that this solution doesn't have any OH ions or carbonate ions, because if the solutions have these ions, then the silver ion will combine with them to give precipitate, and you may be confused with the precipitate they would give. So what you should do, you should first acidify all the solution with nitric acid. And another thing is post, which is confirmation of the test. Here you get silver chloride, white precipitate, and silver bromide, pale yellow precipitate, and the last one will be yellow precipitate. Look, these 2 are close color, white and pale yellow or off-white, and these 2 could also be confusing because pale yellow and yellow. So there is another test which is dissolving test. What is that? You just take the solid, only take the solid of the precipitate from the precipitate. And how to do that? Just decant and discard the solution, so then you will get only the solid. Then add ammonia solution, NH3 aqueous, to all the solid. And if you get silver chloride white precipitate, that would dissolve completely. And when you get silver bromide pale yellow precipitate, this will reduce the amount of the substance, amount of the solid, by half surface. And this won't get any change with the yellow. So this dissolving test ensures that this is silver chloride, and chloride contains chloride, and this is silver bromide, and this is iodide contains iodide. So this is a confirmation. But if you use concentrated ammonia, that may dissolve both silver chloride and silver bromide, but not will dissolve the silver iodide. This is how simply you can identify the halide ions. Basically, we're using this sense to test for the halogens in organic substances. Halogen atoms in organic substances mean they're halogen alkenes, and all the halogens are bonded to carbon atoms. That you get like this: carbon is bonded to chlorine, here you get carbon is bonded to bromine, and here you get carbon is bonded to iodine, like this. And carbon must be bonded with some other substances, maybe more carbons or hydrogens. So these are organic substances, and your job is to identify the halide present in the organic substances. So if you just use your concept of O level, that you are using silver nitrate solution, add silver nitrate solution and look for their presence, you will not get them. Why? Because these halogen atoms are atoms and covalently bonded to carbon atoms. These are not ions. The silver ions can look for only the ions when they are ions. So how to solve this problem? The problem to be solved by breaking the bonds. If you can break the bonds, these bonds, you will get the ions. So this is your first job. This is this addition when you go for testing halogen in the organic substances. And how should we do this? Very simple. You take them in test tube and heat with sodium hydroxide. This could also be possible with water, but sodium hydroxide is better, that is faster. And then what would happen? OH ions will displace these halides and you will get alcohols. And don't think about alcohol, you will get the displaced ions, which means when sodium hydroxide reacts with this substance, you will get sodium chloride. So you will get here sodium chloride, you will get here sodium bromide, and you will get here sodium iodide, and alcohols are also formed with them. Take the aqueous solution of the halide ions in different test tubes, 3 test tubes, and then add their nitric acid. Nitric acid is to ensure that no hydroxide is present there, because already this is true that you have mixed and heated them with sodium hydroxide, so some sodium hydroxide may remain there, and if you add now silver nitrate with them, then your silver ion will combine with the hydroxide and you will get silver hydroxide precipitate, and that is a wrong result. So to get a fair test, you first need to acidify all the solutions with nitric acid, and you can be sure that they are acidified by testing with litmus paper. And when you get the litmus gives red color, then yes, they are acidified with nitric acid and no more hydroxide ions are there. And this time again take them in separate test tubes. They are acidified halide ions, and now you are adding what? Silver nitrate. You are adding them to the solutions. You will get here silver chloride if this contains chloride ions. Here you will get silver bromide, and lastly you would get silver iodide. And they are all precipitate and they have different colors. The first one white, then it's pale yellow, and this is yellow. And again, discard the solution only, take the solid, and for the confirmation test add excess ammonia solution. If the first one is silver chloride, that would dissolve completely, and second one would dissolve partially, and the last one will not dissolve. So that confirms that the presence of the ions. So these are all.